I'm so genuinely excited about unboxing this device. I've been watching so many reviews on it and I thought it's well out of my price range, but I got a good deal on it and I'll tell you what that deal was later. But for now, let's just get this thing unboxed. Now obviously I want to hide all the numbers on the back, but I have not opened this yet. I picked it up today and I just thought, yes, I'll do this on video so you get my genuine reaction to me opening a flagship phone for the first time in years. I've not had a flagship phone for years. No, my luck, it won't be in there, it'll be a brick. Anyway, let's get on with opening this Oppo Find X9 Ultra. Could I do that any slower? Oh, okay. That was a bit of an anticlimax. I was expecting to see the phone. Okay, so we pick it up there and we get a box. And what is in the box? We get a charging cable. And there's no charger with this, which a lot of phones do that now. We also get SIM removal tool or tray removal tool. And we get another USB-C, USB-A adapter. I've got so many of those since doing these videos. But they actually do come in really handy. Now, we get to see the phone. And you know what? I'll let you see it first. Oh no, it takes the whole phone out. I'm really not good at this. As I say, I'm used to phones just flopping out. Make your moment. Now, this comes in two colour schemes. I picked the orange because I genuinely like it. I don't really like the fake leather things, and mine's going to be in a case. I literally ordered the case as soon as I ordered the phone, and I've got another case coming, a better one. So the colour doesn't really matter so much, but I genuinely really like this orange. The camera bump at the back is quite pronounced, but it feels good, it looks good. I've not even taken it out of the paper yet. Can you do this one-handed? Ah, I ripped it. Oh, maybe oh no, okay, it's got cool. Okay, no, I failed. I couldn't do it one-handed, not smoothly anyway, but oh my god. There is that nice orange. I don't know how well you'll see it, but can you see the effect in it? It's kind of like textured effect. Those cameras look cool. Yeah, you can really see them lines there. That's a nice phone, man. That is a nice looking phone. Let's have a look at the front. Well, I've just put it on a dirty bloody table, which wasn't very clever. So yeah, genuinely chuffed with this. I've not even turned it on yet. I'm going to spend a few days with this now. I will just do a quick initial review video of it, and then I will do a dedicated camera video on it, because I think the cameras on this deserve a proper video just showing off the cameras. So I've now been using this phone for a couple of weeks, and I've got to say, it is a beast, an absolute beast. You'd expect it to be. It's a flagship phone, so you'd expect it to be good. This video, I'm not going to cover anything in depth. It's just going to be a quick first kind of impressions video. I will show a few pictures that I've taken, but I am going to do a dedicated video for the cameras. I've not had the time to put into this yet, but we are going away for a few days, and I will get some footage. I will make sure I take this and I take as much footage as I can, so I will show you the sheer amount of versatility that these cameras give you. But I will show you some of the initial shots I've taken in this video as well later on. But this is more about my first thoughts and my first couple of weeks with this phone. Now, the star of the show with this phone is obviously the cameras. The cameras on this, not only are they high quality, but the versatility that it gives you. Some of the zoom shots I've got with this phone, I don't think should even be possible with a phone. So this has, obviously, the Hasselblad camera setup. And on the rear, it has two 200 megapixel cameras and two 50 megapixel cameras. On the front, you've got another 50 megapixel camera. Obviously, being a flagship phone, this comes with flagship spec. So you've got that Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. So I'm reading off of... You know what, if I put that there, it might be better, because then I'm looking down rather than... I've got my tablet, because I can't remember all this spec. 12 gig of ROM. No, dickhead. 12 gigabyte of RAM and 512 gigabyte of storage. And this has
a 6.82-inch display, which is 144 Hertz. And the resolution on this gives you just over 500 pixels per inch. So it is ultra sharp. And I believe this is an AMOLED display. I could be wrong. Now, the battery life in this has been excellent because although I've not been out filming loads with it, I have been using it. I've been coming home. I've been doom scrolling like I normally do. I've been playing games on it because, yeah, obviously all the games run absolutely flawlessly. So this uses Android 16 with Oppo's colour operating system 16 overlay on top. Now, as you can expect, the phone is super snappy. You open something and it's pretty much instant. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. You can have a ton of tabs open with that memory that you've got, the 12 gig. A lot of people are interested in this phone because of the camera. So I will show you now some of the pictures I have taken. I've not really done much video with it yet, so yeah, there is that. But as I say, I am going to do a dedicated camera video coming up soon. Probably it'll be 2 to 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks because we're not going away for a while yet. In that video, I will cover the cameras in a lot more detail, but this is just my first experiences with this camera. So in the first photos here, literally some of the first photos I took, and that was of the moon. Have a look and see if you was as shocked as I was. Now, when you zoom in optically, it will do up to 20 times lossless. It will do 10 times. It's got 10 times optical, but it will do 20 times lossless because it is not taking the image at the 200 megapixel resolution or the 50 megapixel resolution, depending on what camera you're using, unless you actually set it on that. I think it's, what's it called? I think it's the Hasselblad high res. I would have expected that it to be impossible to focus on small items, you know, I'll say small items, big items, but a long way away. But it does an amazing job with the stabilization, that it keeps what you're looking at in the middle of the screen. Yeah, it blew my mind. So these photos of the moon, this is me holding the camera, literally standing out my garden. First night I had the phone, and I thought, okay, let's see how good this thing is. A phone shouldn't be this good at zooming in on something that far away. You know, I can understand it if I had a camera, massive lenses, but this is it's a phone. It's a bloody phone. Yeah, and the first day that I actually used this phone out, we went to Minehead. You know, there's not a lot there. It's all right just for a quick trip. But you've got the steam trains. You've got the Heritage Railway there, and yeah, I took a few pics. But the main thing I want to highlight is camera has presets on the front. So when you open up the camera, you've got your presets. You've got 0.6 times, 1 times, hello, 2 times, 3 times, 6 times, and 10 times zoom, basically. Your 0.6 is your ultra wide, 1 is wide, and then 2, 3, 4 is zooming in. You can also zoom in manually once you get to the 10, and it will go up to 120 times zoom. Yeah, 120 times zoom. Now, obviously, when you get to that area, it's using AI. It's digital zoom. It's using AI to try and create the picture. Now, you'll notice in these buildings that I took at, or the pictures I took at Minehead, I stayed in the same position and I used each preset up to 10, and then I kept zooming in. You'll notice that when it's zoomed all the way in, you can still see what the picture is, but straight lines are no longer straight. They're slightly curved. Now, I don't know whether that was heat haze or whether it's because I'm holding the camera there's no, it's not on a tripod. I'm just holding the camera. And whether movement was causing, or whether it's just the way AI interprets what I'm looking at. But even so, from that far away, to be able to zoom in and still kind of make out people and everything, it's just, it literally blew my mind. But the fact that this can do what it can do, and I've not even looked into much of the other settings at the moment. I've just literally point and shoot. And yeah, it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. The cameras on this phone, just shocking. They really are shocking. It doesn't really matter what phone I get. As soon as I get a decent phone, any phone actually, it goes in a case. Another reason why I didn't use it out for the first week is because I did not want to get any of these cameras scratched. Now, it is one piece of glass over the top, but if you scratch that right over one of the camera lenses, you're kind of bugging it. I initially went on Amazon and I bought this one, but it doesn't protect the lenses. But that just allowed me to use it around the house, but I didn't take it out. I went on AliExpress and found this case, which covers the whole camera bump with this. And you can technically take photos through this. Obviously, it affects the quality. And this is it's also, what's the word, tinted. But yeah, I refused to take this camera out the house until I had this case on it. And this case is a bugger to get on. It fits really, really well. I'm guessing, actually, you should probably put the cameras in first. The day it was delivered, I had it delivered to my local Currys store, because I got this through Currys. Well, Carphone Warehouse, which is in Currys, because they had an amazing deal on this phone. Now, you may be wondering, why is a budget channel reviewing a flagship phone? Quite simply, I used to have flagship phones all the time, and I've not had one for a while, but I thought, when this came up, I was watching some reviews on it. I watched Techspert's video. I watched a few others on it as well, and then I watched Unbox Therapy, and they took one of these phones, or probably more than one of these phones, to the Great Wall of China in, can you guess where it was? China. Well done. If you got that right, gold star. Well done. The Great Wall of China is in China. And the pictures, man, they got. I was blown away. Now, it was a beautiful day. It was a perfect day for taking pictures. Blue sky, sun, bright. But even so, I was genuinely shocked by the quality of the pictures and the video they were getting using this phone. Not only that, but the versatility. How much they could change the zoom in. It wasn't just the presets and that was it. You could just, yeah, it blew my mind. And then I thought, right, okay, I'm currently with EE and O2. Let's go on their websites and see how much they're offering this phone at. But they're not. I don't know whether they're going to get this phone, but at the time, it was only available through Carphone Warehouse, ID Mobile, which is Carphone Warehouse's network, and Vodafone. And I thought, well, okay, that seems a bit stupid. Flagship phone, only available on a couple of networks, but okay. And when I looked at the price, I thought that's got to be a mistake. Because Carphone Warehouse, on their ID Mobile, 2-year contract, first year, £44 a month. Second year, £46 something a month. So I added it up, and it come to about 1,100 quid. Just over 1,100 quid. And I thought, well, this is a £1,500 phone. How are they doing it? That must be a mistake. It must be a 3-year contract. Anyway, I went into my local Carphone Warehouse and asked them. And they said, no, we only do 2-year contracts now. So I was like, so this is genuinely this price? Yeah, I could sign me up. So I signed up. I'd literally ordered it. Did have to pay, I think it was £60 up front. That was it, 60 quid. So I thought, I'm literally getting a contract for 2 years. If you buy this on Oppo, you pay £60 a month for 2 years. Okay, I think it says interest free. £60 a month. I've got a phone contract with this. So I've got 100 gigabyte of data. I've got 5G, 4G, whatever network you're out and about. Unlimited minutes, unlimited text. I can use it in the EU, so I can go to France. We're going to Holland later in the year, me and my wife. Use my minutes, use my data, use my text, whatever, no charge. And I'm getting all that, plus I'm getting the phone, and I'm paying less than if I just buy the phone from Oppo. I don't know how they did it. And I will tell you this, if you go on their website now, the price has gone up. It's now, I think it starts at £53 a month. So either they realised they ballsed up, or they had so much interest, they thought, oh, we can make a bit more money out of this, we'll put the price up. But either way, that deal to me, it didn't make sense. But it offered amazing value for money. I've got this amazing phone. There's no other way of saying it. This phone is bloody brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I have not found a single thing yet that's annoyed me. I will, because I find something that annoys me with everything. But at the moment, I've not found anything that really annoys me. And I absolutely love this phone. If you're wondering about this case, that is the make of it. I will link it in the video, because genuinely, I don't put keys in my pocket where my phone is 99% of the time. But sometimes my silly old brain forgets, and I will put quickly, keys or something. I'll take them out, but I have scratched a phone before. If you're someone who keeps your phone in a bag with other items, I would recommend this case. Yes, it's a little bit awkward. You've got to open it to use the camera. You've got to remember to open it. But you are not going to scratch, damage, get them cameras dirty. It will protect it. It costs about £20 on AliExpress. So that does it for this initial video on the Oppo. But don't go anywhere, because I've been sent some things lately that I don't think fit budget part of my channel name anymore. That Titan gaming tablet was bloody good, but 400 quid. It's now down to 370 on Amazon, but still, £370 for a tablet. That's more mid-range. You could pay a lot more, but it's not budget. It's bloody good, but it's not budget. It still offers good value for money, though, in my opinion. Yeah, my son's in there playing on it. He loves it, and I love it. That tablet is, mwah. Apart from the cameras, but I mean, I've never used the cameras on any tablet I've had, so I really couldn't care less about the cameras on a tablet. I've got amazing cameras. Why would I want to use cameras in a tablet? I don't understand why. If some people would use them, that's fine. But for me, I'm not bothered about that. Obviously now, flagship phone. I also got sent that Caesar document scanner that was over 300 quid. I'm possibly being sent a smart ring, £300. £150 laser spirit level. These are not budget kind of items now. They may still offer good value for money, which is kind of always been my theme. Finding things that are good value for money, that they offer a lot for the price that you're paying. But having budget in my title kind of restricts the videos that I can do. You wouldn't expect to see a flagship phone on a video channel that specifies budget. After talking with my partner, I do have a partner in this channel, otherwise known as ChatGPT. I said that I wanted to keep RBT. I like RBT. Unfortunately, obviously my wife's got me quite a few things that say Richard's Budget Tech. But yeah, me and ChatGPT talked about it, and I said I wanted to keep the RBT. Can you give me alternative that will allow me to explore more expensive products? We came up with Richard's Best Tech. Still keep my name in it, Richard. Still keeps tech, and it changes the budget to best. Yeah, I mean, we've come up with a new logo. I don't know how well you'll see that. Come up with that last night, which I kind of like, actually. It's still got the orange and blue, but it's more subtle. But it's got tech in the picture. Yeah, I actually think that's better. Yeah, ChatGPT, man. I don't use AI in my videos, but I do use it sometimes to create the layout of the videos or to help. Also, naming. Richard's Budget Tech was actually created with the help of ChatGPT. So I'm going to be changing the name of this channel to Richard's Best Tech. And as ChatGPT explained to me, quite cleverly, that allows me, I can still focus on my value for money and my honest reviews, but having the best tech in the title, best, I can concentrate on having the best, reviewing the best tech at various price points. So I could still review something that costs £20 and say that this is the best under, say, 40 quid. This is the best product you can get. But I can also review more expensive things, like this phone, which I got a good deal on. Would I pay £1,500 for this? No, I wouldn't. Would I pay £60 a month for it? Now I've experienced it, possibly. The fact that I'm paying £44 for the first year and then £46 for the second year, and I'm getting the contract and everything, that is still, in my opinion, good value for money. It's still, yeah, there's no reason why you wouldn't do that. Yeah, let me know what you think of the name change. I will probably release or do the change, the logo and everything, after this video has been released. But let me know what you think of Richard's Best Tech. Do you think I should stick with Budget Tech because that's what I've started out as? Or do you think changing the name would actually open up new potential business opportunities? Because some companies may be put off by the budget in my name if they don't see themselves as a budget brand. They offer good value for money, but they're not a budget orientated brand. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about Richard's Budget Tech. And do you like the new logo? But yeah, that does it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. As I say, this is just the beginning of my video series on this Oppo. I am going to do a few on this phone because it deserves it. So I hope to see you all again very, very soon in the next one. But until then, I will say bye-bye.